Hey everyone, how you doing today? This is Gold Pilled here with the Gold Pilled stream, and I'm back. Uh, I wanted to do this a little sooner, but I just kind of been taking it easy here lately. I finally got my magic box that is my car all done. As far as I know, it is all in excellent mechanics now. I got the manifold replaced, new flex pipe on there, and it should be good. It only it took me 3 days, mainly because uh, the two main working days I only really put in half a day, and then the other day it rained, so I didn't get much time there. But uh, very satisfied with the results. Um, I don't. Well, I'm not saying I don't recommend it, but I guess it's illegal. So check with your state. But the brand new manifold with a catalytic converter attached to it. I gutted that catalytic converter out so that my exhaust can flow and it doesn't crack my new manifold. And then I gutted my underneath catalytic converter to let my exhaust flow because my car has two catalytic converters. So it runs great now, sounds great. It'll never crack a exhaust manifold again. So, um, like I said, don't be afraid of the magic boxes. They're not magic. They were built by man and they can be tended to by man, by anybody. You just have to have the aptitude and find some directions, instructions. You can do it yourself. So, like I said, as far as I know, there's no more repairs I need to do, and it all started with just brake pads. So I just kind of been taking it easy these past few days, not having anything to do. But I gotta mow my yard from hell tomorrow, which I'm dreading that, but I put it off way too long here. It's getting pretty high. So I had my video I had planned here was kind of about the whole Trump psyop, Alex Jones psyop, getting the right wing Christian conservative, um, Trumpsters and Alex Jones fans all riled up and ready to go for another election season. And the main video I had saved to play clips from, well, I went to check it the other day because I added two more videos to it, to the playlist where I had it saved. And that video was deleted. It was it was from a call for an uprising. I'm not sure if it was from the channel called A Call for an Uprising or from his new channel, which he has new channels now called A Time for Judgment. And I think he has another channel, A Time for Justice. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of all the channels A Call for an Uprising has because the dude literally has dozens of them. Dozens of YouTube channels. And even though I think he's definitely a part of IIA operations, uh, he does have some good info on occasion, and his points of view a lot of times are correct. He's just another example of limited hangout, where about probably 80%, of what he says and tells, is mostly true. And then you got that 20% BS, to steer you down the wrong path or keep you in some other narrative loop or whatever. Stuff is the Jeebus worshiping, trust in Jeebus. Jeebus. People gobble that up, and that's why he has a big following. This nonsense. And the Bible is the Word of God. He's one of them. Bible's the word of God. Read your Bible. People can't get enough of that. But yeah, I had a good video. He was talking about, well, he was claiming there's going to be a civil war coming in. I was going to point out that I don't really agree with the fact there's going to be a civil war. But the rest of the info he had was really good, where he was pointing out, um, like, just the whole psyop with the FBI raid for Trump. How, they act like this is supposed to hurt Trump, but it's doing the exact opposite because it's getting his voter base all riled up again and, extra supportive and, starting to trust him again and in on it. But he removed the video and said video deleted by uploader. So I don't know why he did it. Probably, I don't know if he thought it was too spicy for YouTube. He might catch a strike, but I mean, the dude has so many channels on YouTube. He could have left it up, but so I found another video from him that it's not quite as good as that one, but it has a couple interesting takes on things. And then I have a two videos from Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky, and he's politicians. I like him even more than Rand Paul because I feel Rand Paul is just another puppet in the game. Yeah, he's conservative. Yeah, he stands up against stuff, but that's his part. That's the part he's supposed to play, and he plays it well. And Thomas Massie actually seems like he's a little more genuine with the part he plays. But even still, I think he's just, he's just another puppet in the game. Like, yeah, he's playing his part, the thorn in the side part, like, there's at least one person trying to make a difference. And so I don't know. That Massie, he's an MIT graduate, made good money. Now he's in politics, with the whole MIT school and the connection with Intel and stuff like that. So I wouldn't put it past him just being, another puppet playing a role in there. But compared to any other politician, he's head and shoulders above any of them as far as, appearing to be genuine and caring about conservative values and trying to uphold the Constitution. So due to that, I like the guy, but I still kind of put it in the back of my head that just another politician, just like Rand. And I really don't even like Rand that much anymore. He's really, shown his colors. I don't know how he's so far off from his father, because his father is still out there kicking ass and taking names and not bending to anything. So apologies there for my coughs. My lungs are still not doing good, like I said, even after I quit smoking, and I might have to actually go see a doctor here. Every now and again, there's a little bit of blood in what I cough up, so that's probably not good, and I'm not sure why that's still lingering even after I quit smoking, and I'm not putting any pollutants in there anymore. But it's still, it's still there, so but we will see. All right, so let's get into this. So the whole point of this video, I was gonna talk about the current political psyop. The FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago. That was the hot topic here recently, and like I said, it was supposed to be, they're trying to hurt Trump. They're trying to stop, a future presidential run, and It's doing the exact opposite. It's just, emboldening Trump. It's, rallying up his base, getting him more support. It's putting more tension on the Republican versus Democrat battlefield, And the reason it's doing that is because that's exactly what they want. The people who control this, they know how to control the narrative, and they know what to do to accomplish that. So this FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago, this is just to get all the Trump supporters riled behind him. Okay? After Trump, left office and the whole January 6th thing, and he got everyone riled up and they were going to go, protest Pence because Pence, was supposed to stop the confirmation or whatever. Well, all that fell through. He pretty much, threw his supporters under the bus. Just everything that happened, after, in the theater, he lost his election. Well, he lost a lot of support because of that. There's a lot of people that abandoned Trump because of that. So how are they going to get Trump in office again if a lot of people bailed on him? Well, you start theatrics like this FBI raid. And what this is going to do, now this is, 2 years before the election, so they're starting now. Well, from now until the election, they're going to continue this. And by the time the election rolls around, all those supporters that bailed on him, they're going to be right back behind him supporting him, because the theater masters are going to have them all riled up. They're going to completely forget what happened, 4 years ago with Trump throwing them under the bus, and they're going to be all behind him again because of these charades. This FBI raid got it started. Oh, they're all supporting Trump now. The darn FBI, them intel agencies, they have no right. This has never been done before. Raiding a former president's house, blah, 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 for no reason. This and that. And people just, they forget what happened in the past, and they just move along forward with whatever narrative that they're getting programmed with. And, it's ridiculous. And, to make the connection to Alex Jones, the whole January 6th, Trump, wound everyone up. Well, Alex Jones was right there with him, winding everyone up. Alex Jones was part of the PSYOP on January 6th. He was probably one of the big leaders of it. Supposedly Alex paid $500,000 or something of his own money to put on that January 6th gathering and stuff. And then he sent them, I don't remember if it was him or somebody, they sent them to the Capitol. Like, when we're done here, we're marching to the Capitol. And I think Trump did a speech and everyone was all riled up. That was all a PSYOP. That was all orchestrated. You have video clips of Roger Stone the morning of, and they're asking him questions, and you could just tell that he knew what was going to happen that day, and just all bullshit. And it played out just how they wanted. They got to demonize the right-wing conservatives, make them look like idiots, claim it was an insurrection, and now we have domestic terrorists. So anybody with conservative values that, want to kind of honor, get back to the Constitution, we're domestic terrorists now. All because of that. It's because of Trump and Alex Jones, the leadership. And guess what? Move along to 2 years here. Here's 2 years later, and all the sheeple, all the NPCs, all the normies, well, they're already forgetting about that incident. And FBI raids Trump's house. Oh my God, we gotta support Trump. And then what's happening at the same time is that, Alex Jones and the Sandy Hook trial, blah, blah, blah. He gotta pay out $50 million, and this and that, and it's all through the, alternative media and Alex Jones buzz. So who's getting all the publicity here? Trump and Alex Jones again. And that's, what they're doing is they're gathering the crowd again. All the people that said, oh, well, piss on Trump, piss on Jones, whatever. Well, they're bringing them right back into the fray. Oh, well, we got to support them now. Oh, this ain't fair. The FBI, they're trying to, Alex Jones, free speech and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to pull them right back in, and they're going to give their support to them again, and they're going to trust them again. And the whole Alex Jones trial, all that is, they make that a public spectacle. It's to scare other conservatives to not speak out, not say anything. Oh, if I speak out or say anything, out of line, that could be me getting $50 million ruling. I was pretty sure in my last video, that's what I talked about. That whole trial is just a BS trial. With the intel agencies and stuff, they could easily conduct a trial like that just for the hell of it, just for the theatrics of it. And that's what that is. It's just to put the put the show out there and scare people, and you better not step out of line, or this could be you. This could be you on trial. And their tactics are wildly successful. Like they managed to make people forget about the past. Like I said, they forget 2 years ago, and they'll get them to fall right back in line and participating in the political system again. Just gotta vote harder, vote harder. And the sheep, they fall for it every effing time. Every 4 years, the sheep fall for it again and again. Oh, this time it'll be different. This time it'll be different. How many times do you gotta fall for it before something in your head clicks and you realize, hey, this is kind of rigged here, and nothing ever happens. It's like the saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. At least I didn't botch that like old Bushy Jr. there. Oh, a fool can't get fooled again. But, yeah, how many times can you get fooled? Like, people are so dumb. We are, this is 100% truth. We are so close to being the populace from the movie Idiocracy. We are so close to being that populace. And that's sad. That is sad how dumb people are and how low IQ people are. When everybody has an IQ below 90, you're not going to accomplish much. And that's why so many people still love Alex Jones. Like, I don't know. I mean, it couldn't be easier to see Alex Jones for what he is, but the amount of people that still love him, like, I don't know. I don't know what intelligence you have to still support Alex Jones. But so yeah, that's the whole political psyop going on right now. Trump, Alex Jones, they're getting everyone to to stand behind them again. They're getting everyone to forget what happened in the past, and they're rekindling the fire of hope in those people for them to stand up and support these shills again. And then, like I said, with, the whole, everyone's falling in behind Trump now again, and the Alex Jones trial, getting everyone to fall in with him again. Well, it's not just his trial that they got out to promote the buzz. Alex Jones has his latest movie. What was it called? Alex's War? I didn't watch it because I'm pretty sure that movie is just an InfoWars movie to pretty much kind of shine on, a nice light on Alex. Pretty much an InfoWars puff piece on Alex Jones. I'm pretty sure it was created largely by InfoWars and whatnot, so yeah, I won't be watching that. But yeah, so they released a movie about Alex, right at the same time, to get everyone supporting him. And then what I was really shocked to see was when that movie came out, Alex's War, on Rockfin, the streaming service Rockfin, they had a big banner across the screen, probably a 2 or 3 inch high, the whole way across your screen banner, Alex's War, whatever. They actually premiered that movie on Rockfin, and I'm pretty sure that Jones doesn't have a channel or anything on Rockfin. I've never seen an Alex Jones video on Rockfin, nothing. And now that this movie comes out, they're premiering it on Rockfin. I was kind of a fan of Rockfin there. Supposedly it started out as like a wrestling, MMA types, sporting streaming site, and then they started letting some truthers on there, and because they said they wouldn't censor, and then they started letting more and more on there because they seen the lucrative value of it, and it's a pretty decent place, the Rockfin. But now that I see this big banner of them premiering Alex Jones's movie on there, all that does is reaffirm my theory that the current alternative media is just mainstream media 2.0. It is all IIA operations. All of it. So very likely all the other alternative media platforms, they're all IIA. They were created intentionally to let, the supposed censored alternative media figures, they were created so those people could flee from YouTube, find another home, and it appears that, they're independent now, They got off YouTube, they're on alternative platforms, and you can trust them, and blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure this is all orchestrated, this is all controlled. Like I said, I was on YouTube heavily when the supposed censorship started, the demonetization, and then the supposed banning of people. And whenever the people got banned from there, it was, where can we go now? Where can we go now? And all of a sudden, these other platforms just popped up, and we can go here and we can go here. And, that's where people went. And it all started with Alex Jones. He was the first major censorship one. And is that a coinky-dink? Or you think that was intentional? They banned him first. That was 100% intentional when they censored him on YouTube. That was orchestrated. It was planned. It was done intentionally. And then after that, they did everybody else. And most of those people were IIA anyway. And the ones that weren't, that gave them, the perfect opportunity to get rid of those people. And they were successful. So now that, they did the whole supposed censorship thing, and, it made anyone left standing look like they're legit and honest and, not a shill or part of Intel. And then they came up with all the other platforms. The Rockfin, the Odyssey, the BitChute. Now they have the Rumble. And then there was the brand new Tube. And there's probably a couple dozen alternative platforms now. And I would guarantee that they're probably all created just to control the alternative media narrative, because it's mainstream media 2.0. They have control of all of it. And you come on here, Excuse me. You come on the internet and you think you're going to get alternative news. You're not. You're getting limited hangouts. You might get some truth in there, but there's some percentage that's pushing a narrative and controlling your thinking to whatever direction they want to control it. I don't. I really don't believe that there's much left on the internet that isn't controlled, that isn't there to control the narrative in your head. I think they have control of just about all of it. And then this all connects, with the whole Trump thing and the Alex Jones thing. Well, this goes right back to my Brendan O'Connell complaint. Or what's Brendan want to do? He wants you to play the political game. You just gotta lobby harder. Go lobby your politicians harder. We'll turn this around. But you gotta play the political game. You gotta get political. That's my only gripe with Brendan. Other than that, I love his work. I love his information, but play the political game. Nope, not gonna happen. We can't fix this. And they have such a large control of everything. We're doomed. And the fact that most of our populace is idiocracy, we're done. We're absolutely done. I don't have much hope. All I can hope is in a higher spiritual power, that's, when I'm done with whatever this world is, I'm going to someplace better, because in whatever realm we're existing right now, we are screwed. Unless a whole lot of people suddenly get gold pilled. I have little hope for the future. And I mentioned a quote in my last video from Pockets of the Future, and I couldn't remember it, but I found it, and it was one of the masters of the heartfulness system that he practices. After he passed away, he was conveying messages to this medium, and she would write down these messages. Well, in the one message, one of the quotes, it was from Master Babaji, and one of the quotes was talking about the system and, in place and stuff, and kind of, the world and whatnot. Well, he said, you can neither stop time nor modify the system in place. So that was my point. You can't stop time. So that means time's going to keep on ticking and things are going to keep on progressing. You can't stop time, in order to change it, change what's going to happen. Nor can you modify the system in place. So the system that's in place here, we can't modify it. There's no fixing it. There's no repairing it. We can't modify it to work for us. It's broken. So we just have to let time play out and the system play out. And I don't know if it's going to crash and burn or what's going to happen, but we can't fix it. We can't modify the system in place. So we got to think of something new here, something outside of the box if we want to change anything. Because we can't fix the system. The house always wins. It is rigged against us. So, all right, let's go watch a couple clips here to just kind of reaffirm what I said about the PSYOP and the conditioning and getting people all riled up for old Trump. First one is, I found another video from a call for an uprising, and it's kind of showing the constant, repetition for the normies to get in their head about just kind of what's going on here with the right versus the left narrative. So let's see, screen share. And mute.
They know that mind control is a technique that needs to be implemented 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they know that through repetition, they can constantly program and control people. You probably hear people say things in your day-to-day life that make no sense. They'll say things, if you say something to them, they're like, it is what it is. Or if somebody does something, they go, you deserve it. These are all things that are programmed into people from repetition. The narrative with the left and right, they are programming both sides. I'm going to show you the clips. Now, most of you are familiar with the Sinclair Broadcasting clip, where you see that all the news anchors all talk off the same script. There's a reason for it. It's a controlled narrative. These editors who write these scripts are people that you'll never see and never know who they are. They're people, though, who are billionaires, millionaires, who will be at the Bohemian Grove, the Bilderberg meetings. They won't be people in the front lines like the Bill Gates of the world who have now decided to become faces of what's going on. These are the people who control the narrative. They work together with those other people, but nobody thinks about the news and how all of these people and celebrities as well, because the celebrities are being used and using the same talking points I'm about to show you. Nobody thinks about any of this stuff. They just see the news, they listen, and they think it's some original writing, or the people on the news, whether it's the actual news or it's the people on the news who are supposed to be like me in a sense, like they're just talking about stuff. They're like, here's the topic I'm talking about. It's all scripted and it's all the same script with the same talking points. The talking points are the mind control. Those are the points that they want to continually use over and over to beat into your head. So let's start with the clip from the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which I've used before, so you can just remember this, so you can have an idea of why all these things stop in our society.
This responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
the sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 So this is the type of thing that they use, repetitive mind control, through all the different mediums of media. They use it on the news, then they have celebrities come out and tweet it and say it in interviews, and it continues on, and then people just start saying it. Like when you hear a song on the radio, right? You might not even like the song. You might find yourself later that day, though, singing it in the shower, or just saying, I hate this, Nickelback, etc. You get the point. Over and over and over. The song gets stuck in your head. Here are two narratives. Let's start with the liberal narrative. The liberals want to remind you that Big Brother's in control and nobody's above the law, except, of course, Steven Seagal. But nobody's above the law. That's their narrative that's coming out of it. And it's funny because you watch both sides of this and you see how ridiculous it is. You have the liberals saying defund the police and the Republicans saying, I can't believe they want to call for defunding the police. We have crimes everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And then the other side is now you have the Republicans saying defund the FBI, get rid of the FBI. When in reality, this is what the government wants. This is what the FBI wants. This is what the CIA wants. They want to destroy the FBI, the CIA, the government itself. It's all going to be gone. That's the whole Phoenix Rising out of the ashes mindset. Everything is going to be destroyed. Order out of chaos. All these things. So yes, the people at the FBI know what's going on. They're the ones who are creating this. They're not creating the raid at Trump. They're creating this. They're creating this mind control over the masses. Them and the Central Intelligence Agency, all these agencies. They're creating this on purpose. They're fine with destroying their agencies. They're all okay with it. They're all in on it. Because this has to happen for them to get what they want, not for us to get what we want. Remember, problem, reaction, solution. So here's the above the law narrative.
Whatever your opinion of Donald Trump, we can all agree no one is above the law.
It is. You don't want to let a former president get away with crimes, right? Because nobody in America is above the law.
Attorney General Merrick Garland has said in recent weeks more than once that no one is above the law, including anyone who happened to be president.
An ex-president is not above the law.
There is no person in this country who's above the law.
In America, nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law, not even a president or a former president of the United States.
So there's your predictive program with above the law, right? Above the law, above the law, above the law. So then what ends up happening is you go somewhere and politics or whatever comes up, some idiot who has no idea what's going on will repeat that. They'll say, nobody's above the law, though. They wouldn't even realize being used against the people with that and blah, 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 or just don't realize that they're this isn't a one-track narrative. It's a two-sided narrative because that's how the war is being created. So you have the liberal side and then you have the Republican side. So what's the narrative that comes out of that? The narrative that comes out of that is the banana republic. They're talking about the banana republic and they're talking about the government coming after you. There's truths in both of these narratives because this is the New World Order mindset. The above the law narrative is them telling us that none of us are above the law. And they're reminding us with what they're doing with the IRS, et cetera, that none of us are above Big Brother. Not the law, not the police, Big Brother. In this narrative, they're reminding us that the FBI, the CIA, the IRS can come to your door and do this to you. So don't forget about that. Here is the banana republic, they're coming for you narrative that the Republican side pushes.
These things are what happen in banana republics or...
Most Americans now, by the way, in both parties, believe we're living in a banana republic.
As of this moment in time, 21st century America under Joe Biden is no better than a banana republic.
This is an abomination.
This is Gestapo crap.
It's probably the worst day in the history of the FBI.
This is a wake-up call for those in Congress to be able to use the tools at their disposal to defund the FBI, dismantle the FBI into 1,000 bits.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene simply tweeting, defund the FBI.
If this is what they're able to do to the former president of the United States, think about what they could do to you, to anybody in America.
The real target of this investigation isn't Trump. The real target of this investigation is you.
Do we have a dual justice system in America? Is there equal justice under the law?
I am deathly afraid for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people.
We're entering basically a Venezuelan, Zimbabwean, East German style banana republic.
Banana republic.
The banana republic.
So there is no right side to this. Both sides are fully under mind control. I've said this before. If I was actually a believer in this, obviously I would be considered a Republican, right? Because it's more conservative. I'm a Christian. So yeah, the stuff on the liberal side is just total insanity. And it's about people controlling your life. And I don't like anyone trying to control me or tell me what I can and can't do as far as humans go. Okay, I use the Bible to tell me what I can and can't do. That's my blueprint on how to live my life. But when it comes to human beings, I don't need somebody telling me, hey, you can only drive 50 feet today. Oh, I can? Yeah, I don't think so. I'll drive over you first. So the liberal side and the Republican side, obviously I would side that way, but the Republicans don't realize that they're under the same mind control. They all feel that they're 100% correct. And in a sense, if you look at everything that's happening, the Republican side would be the side that's more correct because the government side is trying to protect freedoms, independent freedoms. The liberal side is trying to take control. However, they're using both of these to create this civil war. They're using both of these channels, I should say, these tunnels, these avenues to have a two-sided war, a civil war. So both sides, at some point, this is going to come to a head. And like I said before, I've talked about it on my website, I've talked about how this will all culminate with blue and red states, and however they want to plan it out. You know, I don't have a blueprint of what they're going to end up doing. I do believe that half the country will be divided, and they'll begin their smart cities, their new world order in these specific spots, where the other side will be, you know, they'll create more of the famines and do stuff and go after people who are on the other side, which unfortunately will be us, because we will unfortunately be in the red states based on not taking the magic potion and all those types of things. But they'll start rolling this out experimentally on these other people, because the other side, the liberal side, are really the lab rats. That's what they are. This whole country was a giant experiment, okay? They're done with the experiment. Now they're moving to the next stage of that experiment. And we have these people who are willingly okay with living in slavery, like people in China. And again, the same side over there who thinks that China is a free country, a free, great country. I don't know if you've seen that coming out of their mouths, but the liberal side is talking about China being free. I've constantly been talking about China to just look at China and realize what's coming here. It is the most corrupt, disgusting, disturbing country that there ever was, probably. It's unbelievable that the stuff that they do there to the civilians, how they just take control, they lock them up. I mean, it's really unbelievable. The social score is enough. You guys saw the video I did yesterday or a few days ago. Check it out if you haven't, so you could see that. But this is what it's about. It's about repetition on both sides, because that's how you program people. So that's how these people are being programmed into this civil war. They have one narrative, they have the other narrative. Above the law versus they're coming for me. They're not going to come for me. The banana republic, right? When in reality, for both sides, if they both were aware and awake, they'd realize this isn't a republic at all. And they need the people to go to war with one another to bring in the government they want. Because if they didn't create all this chaos, everybody would just go, why are we changing? We're not changing the government. Liberals and Republicans, they go, what? Everything's great. I like the way things are. I feel free. I go to work. I'm okay with this system. They don't want that system anymore. So they need to do this. Otherwise, both sides would have problems. So the liberal side wants a new system because they feel they're oppressed. They feel that the world, you know, they haven't gotten what they deserve in life. That's part of the.
All right. So that's an example of the repetition there that they're pushing. And the other video that I originally wanted to show you, but he deleted, elaborated a little further into that. Another repetition that they're pushing in the mainstream media, you know, in addition to the Banana Republic and the no one is above the law, was with the whole Trump raid or whatever. It was, if they can do this to Trump, just think of what they could do to you. So they were pretty much pushing, you know, if they're willing to raid Trump, they will raid you, you know, even quicker. And that was being pushed around in repetition, just like this. So that's just, you know, going back to scaring people, you know, right along with the Alex Jones trial, you know, like, don't speak out, you know, don't practice free speech, because this could be you getting 50 million judged against you. Well, you know, if the FBI can go after Trump, they can come after you. So any conservative out there, you know, this could be you. You know, this could be you getting raided. And it's all a scare tactic. And it works on, you know, the normies. That makes people, you know, stay in place and not even dare to step out of line. You know, if it happens to Trump, it could happen to you. Now, the whole Civil War thing, I don't think we'll have a civil war, because honestly, the people in this day and age, we are too pussified to fight. You know, we're not going to line up on the battlefield and go to war like, you know, the original Civil War. Everyone is a total wuss. Freaking lazy, overweight pussies that can't do any physical activity. How are they going to fight a civil war? So, I don't think we need to worry about a civil war. However, it may be some kind of unconventional civil war. I don't know how that would look, but that's a possibility. So, yeah, I don't think we need to worry about the battlefield civil war. But, so that's all the, you know, the repetition out there in the mainstream media, and it, you know, it's successful, but that repetition extends to the mainstream media 2.0. Because like I said, I follow quite a few different channels across quite a few different alternative media platforms. And as I'm watching them, daily, I see the repetition. All these different alternative media figures, they all end up covering the same topics, the same trending current events. They all cover it with their own take on everything, and that's all repetition. What narrative do you want attention on? And it filters right down through all the alternative media. It's mainstream media 2.0. One big IIA operation. And they got their clutches on it. They have control of the internet. And like I said, I think it was all planned. They got rid of the real truthers in the early 2000s. And then into the teens, they started, refining their algorithm and getting everything prepared. And then in the late teens, they initiated the operation of, supposed censorship and whatnot, and created these alternative platforms. So let's go to these other videos. After I watched this video with a call, a video I watched then a little bit later was Thomas Massie. Because like I said, for the most part, I like Massie. And boy, I got a laugh when he did the Banana Republic repetition. So there you go. Massie, seemingly, good guy, playing his part and doing the repetition too.
Kentucky Republican Congressman, House Judiciary Committee member Thomas Massie. This is incredibly serious. Welcome back, Congressman. What do you make of the little we know so far?
Well, Kennedy, Trump should have kept a copy of Hunter Biden's hard drive, and he's safe because the FBI can't seem to find it. But on a serious note, this is extremely troubling. It feels like a third world dictatorship or a banana republic where once somebody goes out of power, the incoming regime persecutes and prosecutes the outgoing, president. So, and add to that, we just found out today, my colleague Scott Perry, Representative Perry from Pennsylvania, was approached by 3 FBI agents who seized his cell phone. I mean, wow. This is insane. Can't we go through lawyers to do this?
So there you go. Old Massie, he's playing his part. It's a third world dictatorship or banana republic. This is insane. The intelligence agencies, they're out of control. They're going after anybody. That's the narrative they want to push. And, everyone that's a part of the game is in on it. Apparently Massie's in on it too, even though I love the guy. You can't trust anyone. You definitely can't trust alternative media figures. You've seen the picture at the end of Call for an Uprising there. It was old Timmy Pool in the picture with his buddy Luke Radowski. Those guys are 2 complete shills. He portrays the narratives they want in a form that's appropriate. Kind of riding down the fence. Don't be too controversial. Ride the Trump train when needed. You'll make millions. Just play ball. Tim Pool. Ridiculous. And people actually go to him for real information. Even Luke Radowski, just another II agent. And here's another Fox News Massie about the IRS thingy. So here's another, the government overreach. Why would they do this? They're coming after you. They're coming after you, getting conservative right wing, against just furthering that divide, left versus right. Well, the IRS could kill you, you right wingers. They're coming to take your money and they'll kill you.
Government on Americans. There are two very specific requirements for many of the 87,000 new IRS agents. First, they need to be legally allowed to carry a firearm. And second, no, wait, where'd it go? Oh, did they just delete that second requirement? No, don't worry. We saw it before they took it down. Here's the other requirement. Be willing to use deadly force if necessary. Joining me now is Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie of the Judiciary Committee. Congressman, the press is trying to spin this. The Biden administration's narrative is horrible. This has completely backfired on them this week. But I get the sense that this is just the beginning of what we're going to see with this agency being turned against the American people.
Yeah, and not just this agency. What a lot of people may not realize is last week, the Democrats, through our Judiciary Committee, passed a ban on the AR-15. They call it a weapon of war, but they made sure that their ban exempted every federal department, including the IRS, the Department of Education, and the USDA. So you got to put that in the context of now this week, tomorrow, we're going to be voting to add 87,000 IRS agents to the rolls. And then taken with this website, and like you showed, look, they got caught. They had this on their website. I went and looked at the Internet Archives. They put it up since Biden became president, that you must be willing to do deadly force, to exert deadly force. And they just took it down yesterday because they got caught recruiting that way. And by the way, Laura, I've talked to people who spent their life in law enforcement. They said this is the last thing you would put in a job posting. You get the wrong kind of people. If you say you want to kill people, join us.
I mean, the Border Patrol can't even use deadly force pretty much, right? So Border Patrol, no, but the IRS, yes. That's a twisted world we're living in. Now, the new ATF director actually sat down with CNN today. Watch this.
He sat down with CNN to discuss the litany of threats his agents are trying to counter from coast to coast, including a rise in violent domestic extremism.
I think the first thing we need to do is to be honest about the fact that we have a problem. But I will tell you, it's gotten more bold, more brazen, and more violent.
Your response to that, we apparently have a massive domestic terror problem in the United States, and they all just happen to be Trump supporters. Congressman.
Yeah, we've asked the DOJ about this. The DHS actually put out a bulletin that said that if you do certain things, like you deny things about the vaccine, that you may be a violent domestic terrorist, or, it's crazy. Maybe you grow your own food. Now you're going to be labeled as such. It's crazy what can put you on this list, and I think it's dangerous.
Well, it's time to defund the agencies that are targeting the American people. That's what we're going to be expecting of Congress when Republicans take over. Congressman, you've been a beacon. Thank you.
So there you go. More propaganda, more conditioning, and more furthering the divide. The government, they want to come kill you. You're a conservative right-winger. Well, the government's going to take your money and kill you. To do it because they're eagerly, willing. And then you got domestic terrorists. Oh, we got a domestic terrorist problem. So any conservative, you're going to be deemed a terrorist. And thanks to 9/11, they have the Patriot Act, which they'll enact against terrorists, and domestic terrorists fall under that. And then good old Fox News being Fox News, they throw in, they're coming after the conservative right-wingers, they're coming after the Trump supporters. So all that does is make the Trump supporters double down. Oh, they're going to come after us? Well, we're going to support Trump even more then. And that just gets, the people riled behind Trump again. They double down on Trump because of all this nonsense. And that's what they want. They want people to double down on Trump because the way it's looking, it looks like they want Trump to do another term, a non-consecutive term. And this is how they get everyone back behind him again. They make the conservative right-wing Jeebus praisers that got him elected the first time target that, to double down, to put him back in there. And it's a shame that Massey is a part of this. But, there you go. There's Fox News and the whole IRS, job recruiting post. This is making it on Fox News for all the normies to see. Well, guess what? This trickled right down through the alternative media when it came out. Alternative media channels. So, this is a narrative they want everyone, to know about. It has a reason for them showing everybody. They're controlling the narrative in the mainstream media and in the mainstream media 2.0. They run them both. They control both of them. And here's the last clip before we wrap up. And this is old Trumpy Jr. whining about them raiding his dad's house. And listen to how he speaks and talks about the FBI and the hostage negotiation unit or whatever. And, this type of talk here is what makes people, the people that bailed on Trump 2 years ago. This is the kind of rhetoric that's going to bring them people right back onto the Trump train.
My father says that he would have given them what they wanted had they done this, but no, they needed the FBI hostage rescue team, the HRT, their elite tactical unit, and 30-something agents to show up to my father's home, where they then wouldn't allow or didn't want any lawyers present, right? Because I'm sure, given all of the examples of totally above board stuff that the FBI does, that's totally great, right? Like, I don't know, if I'm the FBI, you want someone's lawyer there so that there can be no other claims later on. But, honestly, they don't care. At this point, given all of the things that they seem to have fabricated or lied about and all of these things, guess what, folks? There's exactly zero equal justice under the law. You know what? Pro tip for life. This is an ultimate life hack. Become a Democrat. Then you can do whatever you want with no accountability, no legal action. They'll just leave you alone, okay? But you needed the HRT to exercise this warrant at Mar-a-Lago. Give me a break, right? Again, Hillary can bleach 30,000 emails and take Hammer's 2 phones. Nothing shady about this, folks. But Trump says he'd cooperate, and they still have to show up this way. You know why? Because they're there to intimidate you. They're acting like the fascists we've been seeing them be for the last few years, folks. And for all the Democrat talk about Republicans being fascists, these are the guys acting like it. Give me a break. Okay? They wouldn't look at Hunter and deals in China or Ukraine or links to Russian oligarchs with links to Putin or links to human trafficking and literally videotaped evidence of him saying that the Russian mob may have his laptop. No. That was Russian disinformation. But we need the HRT team to go to Mar-a-Lago. It's intimidation, folks. And the number one thing we can do to save America and prevent us from becoming the dictatorship that these guys would like is to drain the swamp and fire all of the bureaucrats. Enough is enough, folks. This stuff will never end until we do something about it. And they're going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to. So now is the time to push back on this insanity. And that's exactly what it is, folks.
Okay, so there was old Donnie Jr. Spitting his rhetoric. Well, that narrative he's pushing there, that coincides with all of this psyop that's taking place. He's getting all the right-wing conservatives and Jeebus praisers. He's getting them all riled up. The FBI, they're against us. The government's against us. The deep state, they're after us conservatives, and they won't touch Hillary, and they won't touch Hunter's laptop, and they won't touch Epstein. They won't touch the connections to China, Russia, but they'll go after us conservatives. We need to draw a line in the sand. And then, right at the end there, he literally said, the only way we're going to change this is to drain the swamp. So, they are 100% doubling down that old Trump gets in office again, he's going to drain the swamp. Now, we seen how well he drained the swamp the first time, which he promised he was going to do. Yeah, he drained it real well. They're literally promising to do that again. And the sad part is, the sheeple out there, they will believe this and they will fall for it again. Because that's how dumb people are now. They will literally fall for this again. All this narrative pushing, this brainwashing that they're putting out there with, making people hate the FBI, hate the deep state. They're against us. It could happen to anybody, this and that. They will completely forget, 6 years ago, and they will fall for the same tactics over and over again. We're the idiocracy. So, that's what's going on out there, folks. Everything you see, in any media, mainstream media 2.0, aka the alternative media, it's all controlled and it's all designed. All designed to continue to manipulate your thoughts, control the narrative in your head, sway your thinking, your decision making. They have this on lockdown. And I don't know how we're going to get beyond it. Because not enough people can realize this. And even if you tell a person, hey, this is going on, they still won't believe you. Like the indoctrination, all the indoctrination that they've been doing hardcore since World War II. It just can't be undone overnight. You can bombard a person with as many facts as you want. It will not change their thinking or their indoctrination programming. It has to be something within the person that finally clicks before they'll start thinking differently. And unfortunately, not many people out there will ever get that click. So, all I can do is try to do my little part here on YouTube and maybe reach some people that, otherwise aren't involved in alternative media or mainstream media 2.0 or, even regular mainstream media. Try to get a differing opinion out there and try to speak some truth and how they're manipulating and duping everyone. We're pretty much being gaslit from all angles. And if I get a couple clicks out there in people's heads, great. If not, well, I tried. I'm trying to do my part. So, I'm going to wrap it up there, folks. Take care. Don't let magic boxes scare you. Learn how they work. There might become a time here where you got to be self-sufficient. And the more prepared you are for that, the more likelihood that you're going to survive. Because who knows what the future holds. All right. Find the gold pill. You want to strive for the gold pill. That's the only pill you need to worry about in this information war. It's the gold pill. To see above it all. Peace.